What's going on, folks? Thanks for hitting that download button and checking out a brand new episode of Toys and Tech of the Trade, your one-stop shop for toys, tech, and talk with some assembly required. I'm your host, Rich Butler, and if this is your first time checking out an episode, first of all, welcome. A little bit about what we do here. Toys and Tech of the Trade is an interview series where we sit down with content creators, entrepreneurs, and just kick-ass folks on our radar and share the gadgets, the gear, the tech that they use to run their businesses, create their content, and just be more productive. When it comes to toys, we use that in a more broad sense, not just the action figures, the Funko Pops, the usual stuff, but the big boys' toys, or the big girls' toys, whether it's cars, motorcycles, knives, guitar picks. You'd be surprised what people embrace as their toys, and we definitely love sharing it with you guys. So if you're here to get your learn on, hear my crazy ramblings, and enjoy our guests, welcome. Let's get right to it for this week's episode. First and foremost, a little bit of housekeeping. We did not do an episode 2 weeks ago for a couple of reasons, but we were also welcoming a brand new podcast into the fold, which is Cheese, a photography podcast hosted by Jose Betancourt. Jose and I have been longtime friends. We are OGs in the podcast game. He's probably been podcasting as long as I have, if not longer. He hosts the Talking About Games podcast. He's an incredible photographer and a kick-ass human being. He's also been a guest on Toys and Tech of the Trade in the past, and he decided to do a podcast about his passion, which is photography, and we definitely want to pay it forward. He's been nothing but a great friend, and we wanted to bring his show to you guys. So if you're into photography and you're into the nuts and bolts without a lot of fluff and a lot of hard sell and affiliate links and nonsense, definitely check out Jose's podcast. I'm not even co-signing it because he's a friend of mine or a colleague, but because it's a passion and you can feel it when he gets behind the microphone. So if you're a photographer or looking to get into photography, whether it's as a professional or as a hobbyist, definitely check out Cheese, a photography podcast on the Rageworks Podcast Network. So while we were doing that, we were also working on building our gift guides. So as I mentioned in past episodes, we're going to be doing a holiday gift guide, which I've been working on the written version for the site, and there will be a podcast episode dedicated to that probably within the next 2 weeks, along with some other guests. But with the timing of this episode, this week's episode is actually going to focus on some recommendations we want to give you guys for Black Friday, some toys and tech that you can use for your trade for Black Friday. So we're going to talk about a couple of items that are on our radar. These are things that either I already own, I've already tested, or we use in the office, in the studio, etc. These are things that may make your life a little easier, may make your job a little easier, or may allow you to create content a little easier. As always, some of those items may contain affiliate links, which if you click them, it is no cost to you, but we get a little commission on the back end, which allows us to keep giving you guys kick-ass content, whether it's audio, video, or written. Every little bit helps, so definitely use the links for those products. And as always, everything we talk about on the show, or that I personally talk about, is stuff I used, whether it's temporary or on an ongoing basis or testing it, etc. But everything's been battle tested here in the Rageworks studio. So definitely know that if you got a question about something that we've talked about in a previous episode that I personally own or use, you're more than welcome to reach out and talk about it and ask questions, of course, and I will do my best to help you. Before I jump into the Black Friday gift guide for 2019, one other thing I did want to mention, I know some of you have been asking about what's going on with the YouTube channel. I know I've been messaged offline or via Facebook about why haven't we been really putting up more videos about different things, product reviews, etc. And I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be 100% honest with this. I feel that the Rageworks channel is a little bit all over the place. I mean, it encompasses what the website is about, which is rants and reviews about gaming, entertainment, and the works, which obviously includes comics, etc. But the thing about it is that there's such a disconnect. Like I want to do toy reviews, but I also want to talk about tech stuff. So it's one of those things where, yes, it's what we do on the site, but do people want to consume that variety of content on YouTube? I know some people have said that it's easier for them to check out the podcast episodes on YouTube, especially podcasts that I personally do, because they can play them in the background at work, etc. It's the only thing they get access to when they can't go on the site or have their phone or their headphones on, etc., etc. So obviously we're going to continue to do that as a courtesy. I'm not really, in love with the metrics for that. I'm going to be honest. But I do it because it takes 5 minutes to do after we do an edit of a podcast. And again, I want to give you guys maximum value. I don't want nobody to say, hey, Rich, I can't check out your podcast because I don't have iTunes, or I don't know how to use Google Podcasts, etc. Like, I want to make sure that people can go on the site, check out the show, go on their phone, check out a show. And of course, if you're on YouTube, check out a show, at least the ones I do. I mean, some of our other guys, I've been debating doing their shows as well, but then it just becomes just way too much. So right now, my stuff is easy because I'm editing as I record, and it's easy to just put out a video right after with a waveform. We actually use a service for that, which I will talk about in a later episode when I get into some of the podcasting gear recommendations for the holiday season. So I'll get a little bit more in depth with that in the coming weeks. But with that said, I wanted to get that housekeeping out of the way. I wanted to get you guys primed and ready for Black Friday. So I'm going to give you guys I want to say about 10, 15 different products that are on my radar for Black Friday that I think you may want to pick up. And like I said, there's going to be some toy stuff. There's going to be some tech stuff. There might be a video game or two in there, maybe some Blu-rays that, the deals are just too good on that people may not know about. So again, strap yourselves in and enjoy the Toys and Tech of the Trade Black Friday 2019 gift guide. Let's get to it. All right. So before I jump into this gift guide, a couple of things. As many of you know, one of the biggest things that many people have become frustrated about when it comes to their Black Friday shopping, other than the crowds, of course, is the fact that a lot of stores are opening on Thanksgiving Day. And while obviously it's definitely a big cramper on the holiday, it's not something that necessarily means you have to run out and leave your family to go and buy this stuff. And I want to preface that just because, Thanksgiving is about being thanks, spending time with your family, etc., not running out to get the latest and greatest. So if you are going to do that, don't leave your family hanging. Don't, ditch your grandmother's macaroni and cheese or your mom's turkey or your dad's, bundt cake or whatever the case may be to run out and get some of this stuff. There's going to be plenty of deals all the way through Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and probably all through the holiday season. So if you miss something, don't get bent out of shape about it. Just make sure to be thankful, spend time with your families, and enjoy the time you have. So with that little public service announcement out of the way, let's get into some of the deals that are heading your way on Black Friday. So first off, if you're in the market for an Amazon Fire Stick, a lot of retailers are running a lot of great deals with Amazon, of course. Probably the easiest to buy if you don't want to deal with the crowds. But if you happen to be at Best Buy on Black Friday, you can score an Amazon Fire Stick 4K for $24.99. Now, if you're like myself and you have a couple of different platforms in your house, the Amazon Fire Stick proves to be very, very versatile. Number one, if you are an Apple user and have Apple TV and you can purchase either the 4K Fire Stick or some of the newer ones, you'll be able to install the Apple TV app right on there. So you'll be able to watch your movies and shows and some of the other Apple content you may have right on your Fire Stick. This makes a great gift. Not only that, but it's also an amazing stocking stuffer. And for $25, you can't go wrong. And of course, if you are a homebrew enthusiast, I don't have to tell you there's plenty of other things you can do with the Amazon Fire Stick. But nonetheless, for $25, the 4K version, you cannot go wrong. If you want to get a couple of others and don't want to just rely on 4K, the regular Fire Stick is going to be $19.99 at most of these same retailers. But like I said, if you're in Best Buy, Amazon Fire Stick 4K, $24.99, solid deal, RageWorks seal of approval. Another Best Buy deal that's going to be one that's a sleeper for many people is the Sandisk Micro SD 128 gig memory card. It is being marketed for the Nintendo Switch, and it is $19.99. It has a mushroom, Mario mushroom on it. And great. 128 gigs to expand your Switch is great, but the micro SD card for that price with that much storage is great for more than just your Nintendo Switch. Great if you have a DJI Osmo Pocket or any other hardware that uses micro SD. This is a solid pickup for $19.99. 128 gigs of storage. Plus, if you are in the market for a Nintendo Switch, this is a great stocking stuffer, even if you're getting it for yourself or for someone else for that matter. Can't go wrong. 128 gig micro SD, $19.99. Next up, we're going to switch gears from Best Buy and we're heading to Target. Now, Target has a lot of great deals going on, and this one in particular is one that I can endorse 110%. It is the Nest Hello Doorbell. Now, as someone who has different pieces of smart home tech in their home from, Google, Amazon, etc., the fact is that obviously you can pick and choose whatever you want, but I will say that the Nest Hello video doorbell is without a doubt one of the best pieces of hardware that I've purchased from the Nest line in quite some time. Mind you, I didn't even pay full price when I purchased it. I ended up purchasing it as an open box deal from Micro Center for well under retail. I think I paid $180 at the time. And the first thing I want to let people know is that this is a wired doorbell, but there is a way around that. You can actually buy an outlet that you can attach to the doorbell. It's going to require you drilling a hole, but if you don't have wiring for the doorbell and you want to have it hardwired and you have a Nest system in your home, that is a great additional piece, and I'll include a link for that in the show notes. But I will say that the Nest Hello is going to be in Target for $149.99, and the regular price is $229, so you're saving almost $100, saving $80. And I got to tell you, amazing video quality, both in daylight and nighttime. Plus, if you use the Nest Aware subscription, you can actually save the people's faces of frequent visitors to your home. And if you have a Google Nest ecosystem in your house, you'll be able to have your smart speaker announce when X person is at the door. So let's say you save your mom, your wife, and I don't know, maybe your babysitter. So when that person rings the doorbell, it'll say your wife is at the door, your mom is at the door, the babysitter is at the door. And the other thing which I love, which is incredibly, incredibly beneficial, is the fact that you can two-way communicate via your mobile device right to the doorbell if someone rings it. And if it's a solicitor or anything else, you can speak without even having to get up. Let me tell you, it has been invaluable. If I'm cooking breakfast for my daughter and there's a UPS package or something and they ring the bell, I can say I'll be right there and I don't have to worry about missed packages. The other great enhancement that they did recently is that it can actually recognize when there are packages on your doorstep. The same way it can recognize people, it can recognize boxes. And with the holiday season upon us, we know that porch pirates are a thing, which is just a disgusting thing to have to deal with. But this is the day and age we're in, folks. So if you get stuff shipped to your house, the Nest Video Doorbell is invaluable. Obviously, you can also go the Ring route, but I would be doing you guys a disservice in saying that I know more about the Ring. I don't. I've used it sparingly here and there at different people's homes who I visited, and I thought it was great. But the only reason that I used the Nest Hello was because I have a Nest ecosystem with some Nest cameras in my home and a couple of other Nest items. Plus, I have a lot of Google smart speakers. I have one in my living room, one in my home office, and I'm putting one in the kitchen as well. So definitely for an $80 savings, like I said, do not be scared that it's a wired doorbell. There is a way around that. You can get the plug-in transformer, drill a hole, connect the wires to the doorbell, and you can just plug it into an outlet. Obviously, it's going to require you drilling a hole through, the front of your house, but you can get a small bit, add a little bit of caulking after you're done, and you'll be able to just plug in your doorbell. And if you move out or sell your home, you can take your Nest doorbell with you without any issues whatsoever. So once again, Nest Hello Video Doorbell, $149, saving $80 from the regular $229 at Target. Next one, if you are in the market for a 4K Blu-ray player, the Sony UBPX 700 is a solid pickup. And you're probably asking yourself, Rich, I have consoles, I have streaming. Why do I need a 4K Blu-ray player? Well, First and foremost, if you have an Xbox One X, you know that the Xbox software to play 4K Blu-rays is utter trash. It's hit and miss, doesn't work consistently, and it's just a pain in the ass. I'm being honest. If you have the Xbox One S, which also has a 4K Blu-ray, that one works a little better, but it's just the software that is complete garbage. And one other thing, you're probably saying, well, I could stream my movies upstairs, downstairs, wherever. Why do I need a 4K Blu-ray player? Well, one of the things is that obviously, depending on your internet bandwidth speed, even if you have a 4K television and you're streaming something, you're not going to always get 4K. There are a lot of other factors, like I said, data, transfer speeds, etc. You're not going to get true 4K, and you're not going to get that true video quality. I hate to admit it. I mean, don't get me wrong, Netflix, all these guys, if you have a high-speed internet connection and it's rock solid, then you can probably get 4K most times. But I know a lot of people that they just have a regular internet plan, don't really have the highest speed, and want to get the most beautiful picture possible on their shiny new 4K television that they get for Christmas. So the Sony UBPX 700 is a great deal. It is $129.99 at Target off a retail price of $249. It's a massive savings, putting it in line with most Blu-ray players at the time. And I know physical media is dying for a lot of you, but if you want the best 4K picture, do yourselves a favor. Get yourself a 4K Blu-ray player if you don't have it. Plug it into your TV with the right HDMI cables. I cannot stress that enough. Plenty of my friends who get 4K TVs and just swap everything out. They'll be like, I don't know, man, my picture looks kind of crappy, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes it is just the matter of switching to a newer 4K friendly HDMI cable. I'm actually going to link a few in the show notes just to help you guys out, because I've been there. Maybe you're buying it for your mom or somebody else, and you're hoping they could just plug everything in and you're off to the races. I'm going to also double check to make sure that the player doesn't come with a HDMI cable. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But if it does not, I will include links to some 4K cables that you can pick up, from Amazon or anywhere else. As always, those may be affiliate links. Moving on, another invaluable piece of kit, which I use not only for my podcast show prep, but also for interviews, photo editing, media consumption, everything else, is an iPad. I've gone through various iPads over the years. Last one I had was the Mini 4, which I sold, but the iPad 10.2 that recently came out is on sale for it's on sale for $249.99. The regular price is $329. You're saving $80. It is Apple Pencil compatible. And again, this isn't a pro level iPad, and don't expect to do some of the real crazy stuff. But if you want some media consumption, answering a few emails, maybe watching Netflix on some flights, maybe you're editing some pictures here and there and you want to use the Apple Pencil, or maybe it's for your kid who's going back to school and you want to give them an iPad without breaking the bank, this is a great option. 10.2 inch, $249, saving $80. It's an iPad. You can't go wrong. I will say that the Apple Pencil that it is compatible with is Apple Pencil 1 and not the Apple Pencil 2 that you stick on the side, which is a feature on the iPad Pros. So again, it's going to be the first generation Apple Pencil, which you can pick up for $90, usually between $80 and $90. But you can also use the Logitech Crayon, which you can pick up for $50 as well. But definitely I would recommend going with the Apple Pencil. There's plenty of great cases you can buy on Amazon to throw the iPad in there and hold the Apple Pencil, so you don't have to feel left out that it doesn't stick on the top like the iPad mini. So again, 10.2-inch iPad, Target, $249 instead of the regular $329.99. While we're also in Target, and we were also talking about Google products, like I mentioned the Nest Hello earlier, the Google Nest Hub, which is the smaller screen that you can get, is on sale for $79.99. And again, if you have the small puck Google devices throughout your home, the screen is a welcome addition. Not only because you can watch YouTube on it, but if you put it in the kitchen, you can pull up recipes, watch videos, etc. But my favorite, again, if you have the Nest Hello, is that you can say, show me the front door. Or if you have some cameras, some Nest cameras throughout your home, you can say, show me the backyard, show me X. And you'll be able to just look at that without having to pick up your phone or load a browser to see any of that stuff. And again, for $79, it's a solid deal. If you have an Amazon ecosystem, I believe they're going to be doing the Echo Show 5 for similar price points. Obviously, it's a neck and neck race for smart home stuff. But if you are a Google Nest owner, then definitely pick up the Hub for $79.99. All right, for my gamers, we got something very, very cool. If you're in the market for a PS4, pretty much any and all retailers are doing some variation of this bundle. Best Buy, GameStop, Target. It is a regular PS4 with God of War, The Last of Us, and Horizon Zero Dawn for $199. You're saving $100. You're getting 3 games, and if you want to get an extra PS4 and you don't want to get the PS4 Pro for whatever reason, you can definitely pick this up. All 3 titles are A+. Last of Us is Game of the Year. God of War is amazing, and Horizon Zero Dawn with a great 4K TV is a magnificent game. It's just visually stunning. And for $199, you can't go wrong. You obviously get an all-in-one system that can play Blu-rays as well. Not 4K Blu-rays, just regular Blu-rays. But still, you get a Blu-ray player, a console, a streaming device, because all of those different services, whether it's Disney Plus or any of the other services, you can download and stream right on that console as well. So $199, can't go wrong on that PS4 bundle. God of War, Last of Us, Horizon Zero Dawn. You can pick it up at Best Buy, which is running that promotion, GameStop, and Target. Now, obviously, I don't want to leave my entrepreneurs out. There's some really great deals if you are a WordPress, if your website is built with WordPress. One of the great companies I like to purchase stuff from on Black Friday is Wpbeginner. They do a lot of great deals for some of their in-house programs and plugins that they build. One in particular that I'm recommending is WP Forms. It is 60% off, and I believe their promotion actually goes into effect before this podcast goes live, so it's going to be on sale all the way through Cyber Monday. And let me tell you, having a really good Forms plugin is essential for your website, whether you're a podcaster, content creator, or you just run a blog. You want to have a nice contact us homepage. Contact form. You want to also have a good, if you want people to advertise and reach out to you, if you're a podcaster, it'll make a great guest form for people that you want to have on your show. They can just fill out the form. And again, 60% off. You can't go wrong. There's plenty of other plugins out there that are free. And like anything else, I'm not knocking free plugins. I'm definitely not. But I will say that when you pay for a plugin, you get that level of support that if something goes wrong, it's easy to reach out to somebody. You don't have to jump through forums and leave messages and yada, yada, yada. And like I said, Wpbeginner, they make great stuff. Monster Insights, WP Forms, a bunch of them that you can use. I actually use WP Forms on the Rageworks Podcast Network site, and I ended up using that because Gravity Forms, which I use on the regular Rageworks site, it's a great plugin. It's a little expensive, and the license from multiple sites is just a pain. But WP Forms is just as solid, and they do a really, really great job. Now, if you don't want to go the WP Forms route, usually AppSumo, which is a Groupon for Geeks website, which I use to purchase different software, is going to be doing some Black Friday deals, so maybe they will do a deal on their Forms plugin, which is a little bit more bare bones, but it's pretty solid. But like I said, WP Forms, 60% off. You can't beat it. I'll have a link for that in the show notes for this episode. That is not an affiliate link in the least. That is just 100% a deal that I am sharing with you guys. The other one I wanted to mention, obviously, as we're coming to a close with 2019, you're probably going to want to have a nice, shiny new website for 2020. I just completed the brand new Rageworks site, which we launched for our 5-year anniversary, and of course, the website for the Rageworks Podcast Network. And one of the things I found invaluable on building both of those sites are page builders. For those of you that aren't familiar, page builders will allow you to do a what you see is what you get, or WYSIWYG interface, where basically you can create a website of your choosing using blocks and customizing those blocks how you see fit. You want to do a slider on your homepage? Sure. You want to do an image gallery? You can do that too. Video players, featured posts, news tickers. There's plenty of customization options for a variety of sites that are built with page builders. I personally use Elementor on my RageWorks Podcast Network site, and on the regular RageWorks site, I use a custom block builder by CodeTeepee, which comes with the theme that we use for our site. And the thing about it is, like I said, I'm not a web developer. I am pretty self-taught with a lot of things, but web development, not my strong suit. Coding, not good at. I'm definitely, those are weaknesses, and I have outsourced more times than I care to admit when I run into website problems. But when it comes to building a nice website and using blocks, like I said, you can't go wrong. And we use Elementor and CodeTeepee, but Beaver Builder is a great one also. It is a solid alternative for any of those. And the best part is that there's always great third-party plugins that you can use to enhance the block offerings that are available to create a kick-ass site. Daniel J. Lewis actually mentioned Beaver Builder on his Audacity to Podcast episode, and I played around with it, and I said if I didn't have a builder already, or if I wasn't in the market to build another site, Beaver Builder would definitely be a solid pickup. And Wpbeginner advertised that they are running a 25% off deal for licenses of Beaver Builder. Again, if you're looking to build a brand new site in 2020 for your blog or your vlog or anything else for that matter, definitely look at different sites that use page builders. Again, super easy. Does not have a steep learning curve. You can probably build a respectable looking site in an hour with a lot of these plugins, even less if you're, fairly savvy with this stuff. And I love the plugins. I love the stuff that can enhance the functionality of page builders. And like I said, you can't go wrong with Beaver Builder, 25% off. I'll link to that in the show notes for this episode. Last but not least, and I was a little uncertain about recommending this next item, and it's like almost number 10A and 10B. But with the new year, obviously, especially if you're a content creator, you want to maybe treat yourself and either build a new computer, or maybe you want to up the specs on the computer you currently have. And obviously it's easy to say, pick up an Intel CPU, etc. But I wanted to share this deal because, man, it is way too good to ignore. The AMD Ryzen 7 2700 8-core 3.2 gigahertz CPU is on sale at Newegg right now, not even Black Friday, right now for $159.99. And that is after $140 instant savings, which is huge. If you want a little bit more juice, you can get the Ryzen 7 2700X 8-core 3.7 gigahertz processor, runs you $169.99. You're saving $160. That is massive. If you're a system builder, if you're someone that's looking to build a new AMD machine, this is a phenomenal deal for CPUs. And best of all, you don't have to wait till Black Friday. You don't got to get on long lines. You don't got to deal with any shoving, pushing. You don't got to dip out of your house and, ditch your grandma's casserole. Again, you can hop on Newegg right now and score either one of these CPUs, $159.99 for the Ryzen 7 2700, and the 2700X is $169.99. I have an AMD Ryzen 7 in my current system, which I use to stream and do everything else. It's my main PC. It is, as someone who had an AMD machine that was pretty solid before, when I added this brand new Ryzen CPU, it was a kick in the ass. Rendering times were good. Multi-process applications were just running smoothly, especially if you have Chrome, which we all know is a resource hog and a half. the Ryzen CPU upgrade was fantastic. I upgraded also my memory and a few other things, but the first upgrade I did was the CPU, and my machine's performance was really night and day. It was insane how big of a jump it was. And I know AMD gets a bum rap, and I'm not going to sit here and have any sort of pissing contest with you guys about AMD or Intel. You know, do your research, figure out what works for you. But as always, I like to recommend stuff I use. And as somebody who has an AMD Ryzen 7 CPU in their system, performance has been great. Stability has been awesome. And a lot of the AMD CPUs, if you're into that sort of thing, are overclock friendly. So you can definitely squeeze a little bit more power out of it depending on your use. But if you're somebody that's maybe going to build a PC for their mom or for a family member for the holidays, for them to surf the internet and do stuff, and you want it to have a little bit of juice, you can't go wrong with an AMD Ryzen 7 CPU. Like I said, $159 for the 3.2 2700 and $169 for the 3.7 CPU. So again, solid pickups if you're looking to either upgrade your system or build a system for a loved one this holiday season. So obviously there's plenty of other deals and things that are out there for Black Friday, and I recommend you check out BFAds.net. That's one of the places I usually use for Black Friday to keep me plugged in, besides, RSS feeds, word of mouth, a couple of retailers, etc. But definitely strategize, hit up BFAds.net. I'll put the link for that in the show notes for this episode just to pay it forward and help you guys for the holiday season. But that is the top 10 recommendations from yours truly for Black Friday 2019. So there you have it, folks. Hopefully you guys can score some or all of this stuff if you're in the market for any of it. Like I said, we use all of it here in some capacity in studio. Nest doorbell, front of my house. Fire Stick 4K in my television in the living room. Blu-ray player, have one upstairs because, like I said, that Xbox player sucks. Google Nest Hub, have one of those too. Great piece of hardware. PS4, self-explanatory. The WordPress plugins, like I said, I'll make sure to link to those, and I'll add any necessary accessories or items you may need for these things in the show notes. As always, if you got any questions about any of these items or unsure about any of them, or if maybe the links aren't working, feel free to shoot me a message, rich@rageworks.net, or you can hit us up on social, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You know the deal. I'm not going to run through all of them, but links for them will be in the show notes for this episode. Last but not least, as always, from myself and the rest of the RageWorks team, we want to wish all of you a happy, healthy, and safe Thanksgiving. Hope you guys get some great stuff on Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and most importantly, I hope you have a great holiday with your friends and family. All right, that's going to wrap up this special edition of Toys and Tech of the Trade. We'll be back in 2 weeks to have probably one more guest, and maybe we'll do a gift guide, a full gift guide in December, similar to this, top 10 maybe, but otherwise you can check out our gift guides on our website, rageworks.net. And last but not least, if you enjoy what we're doing here, take a moment, give us a rating on iTunes. We'd really, really appreciate it. And make sure to check out some of the other shows on the RageWorks Podcast Network. We pride ourselves on having something for everyone. Your one-stop shop for rants about gaming, entertainment, and the works. Thank you guys once again for lending me your ears for this 35-minute podcast. See you guys in 2 weeks. Thanks for listening. Peace.